If you come across this word containing ra with shadda, how can we pronounce ra here in this position, considering the fact that there are essentially 2 times ra under this shadda? Do we apply the rule of ra with sukun or the rule of ra with kasra? And to properly answer this question, we first need to get some basics right. First, we pronounce a heavy ra if it has fatha or dhamm, like rabb and rusul. And the same goes if it is preceded by fatha or dhamma in the case of sukun, like barq, al-Qur'an. And we pronounce a light ra if it has kasra or it is preceded by a letter that has kasra in the case of sukun, like riha, shirb. So this is the basic premise in dealing with ra. You look at the letter itself, or in case if it has sukun, you look at the letter before it. But the problem occurs when a word having ra with shadda, because as you know, letters that have shadda are essentially the same letter but duplicated, one with sukun and another with the short vowel, like in this word. And now is the question, since ra with sukun depends on the letter before it to know if it is heavy or light, should we then split this duplication and the first ra would then be heavy since it is preceded by a letter with fatha, and then directly afterward we pronounce a light ra because it has kasra. So essentially part light, part heavy, like so. Nufarriq. Is that correct? And the direct answer is no. In the case of shadda or a duplicated ra, we only look at the short vowel that we see on or under the ra, and that's what we then follow. If the duplicated ra has fatha or dhamma, then it is heavy, both parts, and if it has kasra, then it is light, both parts, regardless of what comes before or after. And so, in this case at hand here, the duplicated ra will then be light, and we say it like so. Nufarriq. And the same goes for this word. وَلَمْ يُصِرُّوا. Although the ra with sukun that is found in the duplication is preceded by kasra, we will not look at the kasra under the sad or pronounce a split ra, part light, part heavy, because this is entirely wrong. Instead, we look at the short vowel on the letter, and in this case, we have duplication with dhamma, and that's what we then follow. Here's another example. وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَا, with a duplicated light ra, not وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَا. So we never say ar-riba, part heavy, part light. This is entirely wrong, even though it is preceded by fatha. So the case of split ra does not actually exist in the entire Quran or even in the Arabic language. You will never need to pronounce ra with shadda, part light, part heavy. This never happens. However, sometimes 2 ra's actually follow one another without duplication. One would be heavy and the other would be light, or vice versa. In fact, this is one of the more common mistakes for many learners who fail to switch from light to heavy or heavy to light when they come one after the other. Here is the most famous example. على سرر موضونة. So we say سرر موضونة. The first one is heavy because it has dhamma, and the second one directly afterward is light because it has tanween kasra. But remember, we only do this when we keep on reciting. If we stopped or paused here, then both ra's would then be heavy. على سرر, because the second ra would then have sukun and it would then be preceded by dhamma, so it would also be heavy. Finally, if the rules of ra still confuse you, then I would highly recommend checking out the easiest guide you will find on the internet on how to deal with ra properly without a problem. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my latest books with their video courses if you want to learn the Quran in Arabic or properly learn its Tajweed. Check out the links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, inshallah.